So you're a salesperson. You might be an SDR or a BDR, account executive or a consultant, and you're thinking about the next career move, which is to become a sales manager or get into a sales leadership position. And that's a big move. It's a great move. In this video, I'm going to show you how exactly a salesperson can get promoted to a sales management position. Now, a lot of people think that getting a sales manager job is all about being the loudest in the room, or it's all about, pressuring the senior leadership to get what they want or giving them an ultimatum. And I'll tell you one thing, that may work for certain people, but that's not what I'm going to teach in this video, because that approach can backfire heavily because, first of all, it's disrespectful. It can build a lot of resentment. And also, even if you do end up getting the role, a lot of times you're not going to do very well. So why listen to me? Well, I've been in your shoes. I was a salesperson for many years and got into a sales management position. And from that position, I've actually also managed different sales managers and helped actually train and promote sales rep into management a lot of times. And so for me, I've been on both sides of the coin, chasing the role and deciding who gets the role. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 very clear steps to how to get into a management position. Now, step number 1 is determining whether you're the right fit for the position or not. Because as you know, that being a salesperson and being a sales manager, the job description is completely different, vastly different. Second is how to start the conversation the correct way when you talk to your senior leadership team in terms of your interest in the management. Third, how to show and prove that you're ready. Fourth, of course, building the right skill set and putting yourself in a win-win situation. So let's get into it. First step, are you the right fit to be a sales leader? Like I said earlier, the job between the salesperson and a sales manager job is very, very different. Actually, in fact, to be a great salesperson, it's a bit of a good quality to be selfish with your own time, because only thing that matters to a salesperson is their own time, their own production, their own development, hitting their own quotas. But vice versa, as a sales manager, very different. You have to be very selfless with your time, because most of the time you'll be having roughly 8 to 12 people under you. And now you're in charge of helping them hit their own goals, their own targets, but also help develop them to be a better salesperson, coach them, and also deal with any personal problems they may have at work. And there's one really good test that I actually conduct on sales reps who want to become a sales manager. And that is, I want to see what their intention is. See, depending on your intention will determine the success rate of how well you be into sales leadership. See, if your only goal is just to get a promotion or a title or a pay raise, and if that's your only goal to want to become a sales manager, then you're not going to do well. I'll tell you that. A great sales manager, their intention really lies on truly helping their sales rep become the best version of themselves in terms of becoming the best salesperson. And they actually enjoy and actually drives them to improve and develop. If your intention is towards that, then that's a very good sign. But if you don't have that type of intention, if you only care about the titles and promotions, and I probably suggest you probably shouldn't go for this role. And here's some other evaluations you can take also to see if you're a good fit or not. Another one is, can you teach sales to other people other than your own? Meaning, can you teach in different styles? Can you teach in different personalities? Because you may be a good salesperson the way you've sold, but if you take on 10 people, they're not going to sell like you. They're going to have very different styles. They were taught a different way. They're not going to speak the same way you have. So can you adapt to that person's learning style and their personality when it comes to the coaching? Second is, like we talked about earlier, can you be selfless with your time? Again, I can't stress this enough. This job requires an immense amount of effort and time onto others, not yourself as a salesperson. This is why the job description is very different between a salesperson and a manager. So are you willing to give 100% of your time, your energy, your knowledge, and your pure intention to help make your salespeople the best version of themselves in terms of being a good salesperson? The last thing is, are you a good salesperson on your own? I mean, that's very, very important, because if you can't sell, if you're not good at selling, how can you expect to teach others? And this can really backfire, because if you're not a good salesperson, if you get promoted to sales manager, your guys will not listen to you a lot of times. I've seen this happen numerous of times when a mediocre salesperson end up becoming a sales manager, and there are people just didn't simply listen to their coaching. So that can be quite a pain in the ass. So make sure that before you apply for this role, you're really good, and also make sure that the other people see you being a very competent salesperson. Let's talk about step 2, which is how to have the correct conversation with your senior leadership team or your manager when you're showing your interest in the role. Now, before anything else, please talk to your sales manager first before going to a sales director or a GM or a VP, whoever makes the decision of hiring the manager, because you don't want to go behind your sales manager's back. You don't want to start off that way. So talk to your sales manager and approach the conversation in a way that you have interest in the management role. Now, remember, I'm not demanding it. I'm just showing I have an interest in the role. You're simply going to tell them what are some of the gaps, what are some of the things I need to work on to get there, right? And later on, really good if you can have a meeting with the sales director and a sales manager and repeat the same thing to the director. When you approach the conversation in that manner, it shows a lot of humility. And during that conversation also, you also want to point out that you're not going to be stepping away from your current roles, or you're not going to be slacking off the production or having time off, for your main responsibility, which is to sell. So you want to be saying that because some of the concerns that the leadership might have is that, well, we can help you get there, but we also need you to be on the phones and get a production up. So you just want to show them that, hey, like, I won't be slacking off my role, but during the times I have, we'll kind of work on some of the gaps that I need to work on, and you guys can give me a developmental plan, and I'll be working on that, but I will not be off the phones or lowering my production anyway. So when you position it that way, it gives, this leadership team a lot of peace of mind, because now you're not going to be slacking off your work. But at the same time, we can also potentially throw away a great sales leader in an organization. So position in a win-win situation. So after you have that conversation with your sales leaders, your management team, we move on to the third step, which is developing and executing your developmental plan with the sales management team to show and prove that you are ready for this role. Now, after this, so have a meeting with your sales manager, even better with the sales director, and talk about some of the things that you guys want to work on to help you close on the gaps. And this gap will usually consist of you doing basic administrative work, such as, running a sales team meeting, doing a check-in, or engaging with your team also. But the most important thing that they want to look at is, can you actually coach someone and move the needles and show tangible results? Because if you can show them that, if you can show that you can actually coach someone and get the production going from, let's say, 5 sales a week to 10 sales a week, then that's where you're going to show them that you can actually do the role. So during that meeting, right, ask them if you can help coach a struggling sales member or a junior sales rep that just joined in, and plan out a 3 to 6 months coaching plan for this person. And as you're doing this, document everything. Very important to document the actual results that you're doing. And I want you to document all the steps that you've been doing, all the coaching that you actually did, all the feedbacks, all the sales, the daily sales that this person's got, and all the improvements. Show them the graph. You want to show tangible results and document it. I can't stress this enough. You want to document it and send an email every day or every 2 days, every time you have a coaching session, to your sales manager. And do this for about 3 to 6 months, because that's enough time where someone can actually improve on. And this is where you're going to show that you can actually do the job. Besides coaching, like I said, help run any, daily check-ins with your team, or run team meetings, to motivate the guys, or help do any administrative work that your managers want you to do to help them out. And during this time, you're going to get a massive buy-in with your sales manager as you're, completing the task, and you're actually improving the guys, you're showing tangible results, and you're helping them out. And why is this buy-in so important? Well, this buy-in is going to be so important because, first of all, your sales director is not looking at you. He's got other things to worry about. So the closest connection that you have is your sales manager. Okay, if your sales managers like what he or she sees in terms of the work you're doing, then that feedback will go to the sales director, because the director will rely heavily on the sales manager's opinion in terms of your developmental plan, your goals. And as you're doing this, now you become the obvious choice when the next position opens up, because you're already doing the role. You've already taken initiatives. You didn't demand the role. You're showing that, let me prove you I can do the role. And your only job you have to do at this point is to prove that you can do the role, which is move on to the fourth step. The last step, guys, is keep doing what you're doing. Keep on coaching, keep on executing the plan, keep on doing the tasks that your managers told you to do. If you improve this sales rep, then go ask to coach another person. And what you're doing here, guys, is you're building the correct management skill set. You're building a resume. I give myself at least 1 year of doing this. And the truth is, you're probably not going to get a role within 2 to 3 months or even 6 months. You might get lucky. If the role opens up, they give it to you, congratulations. But the reason why I say 1 year is because that's usually how long it takes to build the correct skill set and get into the leadership frame of mind and really get ready for the role. And when you get that 1 year of experience of acting as a team lead, it puts you at a huge advantage, not just within your company, but also externally now, because you've actually built a resume that you couldn't have done otherwise following this process. See, if you just went out there and demanded a role and gave an ultimatum, you would have probably not gotten it, first of all, but you would have not built your resume. So this is what I mean by is putting yourself in a win-win situation. You may get the role after a year, you may get it in 6 months, but if you don't get it, your chance of getting it later on is much higher than the person who just demanded it. But also, if you decide to go somewhere else, then you have that team leader experience. You can put in your resume and potentially get a leadership role elsewhere. Let's do a quick recap of the video, guys. So the first step we talked about is, are you the right fit to be in a sales leadership position? We talked about some of the criterias. The most important thing is, where is your intention? What is your hot posture saying? Are you just wanting the role or title, or do you truly want to help and develop people? Second step is how to have the right, correct conversation when you're talking to your sales leadership or management team. Remember, don't demand. Show them that I need to work on some of the gaps to get to this position, so help me get there. Third, help execute and develop the gap plan to help you get there. So take on different tasks. Important thing is to show that you can actually coach a salesperson and show tangible results and document everything. And fourth, keep it going. It's a long-term game. Do it for at least about a year and put yourself in a win-win situation. You're building a skill set. You're increasing your chance of getting a role within internally, much higher than anyone else. If it doesn't work out for you, you can go somewhere else. Now, just about this in last year, I've actually personally developed and promoted 5 salespeople into 5 sales management positions using this exact same process, and took them roughly about 1 year also for each of them. And the point of this video, guys, is that just because you're a good salesperson does not mean you'll be a good sales leader. No, the job is completely different. And it's important to prioritize not promotion, but the right skill set, the right frame of mind, the correct intention, the heart posture to want to become a sales manager or a leader. So guys, when you guys follow this process, please prioritize on building the correct skill set so that you can be a value of other people when you do get your own team. That's like anything in life, whether it's success or whatever it is, you have to build the right skill set. That's the only way you're going to get you there. And also, don't expect you to get the role within 2, 3, or 6 months. I mean, you might get it, you might not, but give yourself 1 year time. It takes a while. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe. You can comment if you like to. I really do enjoy making these videos, guys. I love helping salespeople and sales leaders. So I hope my video was of value to you. And until next time, thank you.